Hey, so today I want to talk to you about History is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This book is amazing. The story follows Griffin, whose first love and ex-boyfriend Theo moves from New York to LA and ends up dating this other guy in LA named Jackson, and then ends up dying in a very tragic drowning accident. And after Theo's death, Jackson goes to New York, and where he meets where he meets Griffin, and the story is Griffin and Jackson kind of coming together, and Griffin dealing with all of his grief and stuff, dealing with his grief and making terrible choices. The story is told as if the reader themselves are Theo, so it's kind of being narrated to you through Griffin as if Griffin is talking to Theo, but talking to you as if you are Theo. I'm pretty sure I'm explaining that correctly. It ties in nicely, and it kind of just sort of punctuates the whole dealing with grief thing, because he's talking to you as if you're Theo, so he doesn't have to kind of deal with the fact that Theo is actually just, it's gone. He's gone forever. Chapters alternate between the present tense, or the present time when Theo is dead, and the past where Theo is still alive, and they're just sort of coming together as a relationship, like moving from just being friends to just sort of dating. It creates a sort of horrible emotional tension, because you can see Griffin and Theo sort of come together as a couple, but at the same time you know that Theo is dead, and it's just kind of, it's not going to end well, and I got too attached to them as a couple, and then was, you know, safe or healthy, seeing as how I knew that one of them is dead. It hurts still. I have a lot of feelings about this book, and most of them are sad. I read this book luckily, well, I don't know if luckily, but I read this book mostly while I was in public, like when I was taking the bus to work, or while I was sitting in the store waiting for my shift to start. I was just kind of like sitting there reading this book. So I never really had a chance to read it in private. I was always in public, so I never had a chance to cry, but there was some times when I kind of wanted to sob while reading this book, because it hit me right here, right in the feels, and oh my god. When I finished the book, actually, I was still in the store, and I just took the book, and I closed it, and I put it down on the table, and I just kind of leaned back, and I sat there for a second, because I just had to take a moment, because it ends in a way that I kind of was expecting it to end, but that didn't make it easier to cope or deal with myself. It was, it was a time. It had some really funny moments to it too, like it wasn't all just like maudlin, sad, depressing things. There were some really good funny scenes to it. Their relationship between Griffin and Theo was very cute. It was very sweet. It got a little extreme in some cases, but I think that's just more or less because it was like a teenage romance, and also Griffin is sort of like has an obsessive personality, so he just kind of like was all in on this relationship, and I don't think Theo was quite there with it. It just kind of, from the way he was written, it seems like he was more, I don't know, distant and a little bit, almost like a jerk. I don't want to quite call him a jerk, but he kind of keeps Griffin at an arm's length at some point, and it's just kind of like, dude, if you don't want to be with him, don't be with him. Don't expect him to wait. I just got upset about that for personal reasons. But yeah, a good chunk of the story is just Griffin doing what he can to cope with his grief, and he does some really stupid things, but again, he is a teenager, he's grieving, he's not in a good mindset, he's just doing the best that he can. He's not doing it very well. He makes some terrible mistakes. He treats a lot of his friends and his family like garbage, and I didn't like that part, but I mean, like, I get it. He's upset, but it's still like, dude, come on. All in all, I have no real major gripes with this book. I liked the way it was written, I enjoyed all the characters, I loved everything in it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And if you are looking for a book, like, I'd recommend this one without a doubt. It's such a good contemporary. It's actually the first contemporary I've read in a while. But yeah, that's really all I have for this one. As usual, there's links below. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, because this is just it. It's nothing but this. If you like the video, give it a like, share it with your friends, kind of thing, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!